Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. And this is part 2 of the fire tutorial, Minecraft fire tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to add the smoke that appears at the top. So to start off with, we're going to create the smoke squares that you would see from the fire. So go into Minecraft, take some pictures if you want references. All it really needs to be is a few kind of little squares. So I'll just ungroup these. Just a few random squares like I've done. All you really need to do is go to create geometry, make a plane, make it something like 5 by 5. I just lower the segments to 1 by 1, but I forgot. That shouldn't really matter. And then just convert it to a editable poly by right clicking on it and edit poly. And then go to the 3D little red box in the modify panel, which is called element, and click the plane. Press F2 if you want it to be filled with red when you've selected it, and simply with the move tool, select the move tool, holding shift, you could just copy this like I've seen here, and just create random shapes that you want to use. It'd be completely random, but as you can see, it's still the same object. It's just different elements together. So after you've done about 5 of them, you're gonna want to select them all, and then at the top there should be a group button somewhere. Just click, with them selected, press group and name them something like smoke, and press OK. And now they're all grouped, and that's pretty much them done. So now you've done that, what you're going to want to do is in the create tab in geometry, we'll just click on standard parameters drop down box and go to particle systems and select PF source, and then draw a little box underneath the fire. As you can see, little pluses will spawn. With the rotate tool, use angle snap toggle if you want, to rotate at 180 degrees. And then lift it up a bit. It's about halfway in the fire. Maybe make it slightly smaller by going into the modify tab, and just mess with it so it's not outside the fire, but yeah, you might want to lower the icon size to 0 if you want. You don't have to, doesn't really matter. You want to see this thing in the render. So after you've got it right, what you're gonna want to do is click particle view, which should be with the object selected, or 6. I believe the hotkey 6 will work. Just ignore this. Should be here. You should get this default one with PF source, and you got birth, position icon, speed, rotation, shape, and that end. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove shape 001. So just click it and delete it. And you're going to want to add, you're going to want to there's a list of different ones you can add down here, and what you want to do is you're going to want to find a shape instance and drag it into the PF source or events. If it's red, it means it'll delete the other one, but we want it to be blue. We just want to add it. And you're going to want to add Matierial Dynamic. Just add that. And also you're going to want to add a delete. And that should be all of the ones we need. So as mine's gonna be 100, click on the birth 001. It'll be birth 001 for you, but it's 2 for me, but that's because there was particle flow already in it. So just click that and you'll see the options at the side. Just change that to 100. Now particle, if the longer it's going to be, you're going to have to tweak a lot of these options so that it works with your scene. So in 100 frames, 200 particles will be emitted, which we don't want. So going to change the amount to 18. Before we go, because this is 100, it's going to be 18. It'll probably be a lot more if you're going to have it. You'll have to tweak it because you'll be able to see it in the viewport in a minute. Also, before we go on any further, make sure to go to click on the PF Source 001 and look for the viewport percentage. Now you need to make sure that is 100%. It will be at default 50% for the viewport, because sometimes too many particles are in the viewport and it slows down your viewport, so it halves the amount of particles. So make sure that's 100%, because what we want to see is how many we're going to have, how many smokes are going to be in the viewport, so that we can get it right. So after you've done that, we go on to position icon, and I believe there's nothing we have to change in here, so just leave that one. And with speed, changed it from 300, which should be default, to 50. And shape instance. Now, with your smoke that you've already grouped and made, where it says known in the particle geometry object, click it, and then click your smoke group, and then you're going to want to turn on group members and tick multi-shape random order, and just so that you can see something in the viewport, because you don't know if it's working yet, we'll go straight down to display. Remember this, because you won't see anything in the viewport properly without it. Change the type from ticks to geometry, and you should, but you're not for some reason. You should see something. The material, right? So after you've done that shape instance, we're going to want to, you could change the scale percentage if you want. I'm going to change my scale percentage to 81 and variation to 20. Just a lot of the particle, after you get used to it, you're going to want to tweak a lot of it to what you want. So, just get used to it. Just experiment with it if you want. Don't go mad with the amount of particles you have in the viewport though, because fortunately particle flow for unknown reasons still only uses one core of your which is stupid. So after you've done that, go to Material Dynamic, and you're going to want to open the material editor. So press M or go to the little checkerboard sphere, which should be on your toolbar somewhere. Material right there, and select one of your free material slots. Now, in case you don't see this, and you see this other material editor, this, where is it? It's this one, which is annoyingly as default, and you prefer the default one like I do, or you want to get used to this instead. Just go onto modes and change it to compact material editor, and it'll be all like this. So after you've got one of these selected, you don't necessarily need to select the groups and assign material to selection. So the third one over from the left, rename it. You just click it. You won't need to rename it. I have to because it already had previous ones on it. Just ignore me renaming it. And then go over to the show shaded material in viewport, which is the fourth one over from the right. So just click that on. And remember, two-sided, which is in the shader basic parameters. Make sure that is on, because these are planes, so they don't have both sides. Make sure you click that, or you might not see the smoke when it comes out. So after you've done that, what you're going to want to do is click on standard, and you should get loads of these different material types. Go down to multi/sub object, click that, and it should come up with replace material. Keep old material as a sub-material. You want that. So press OK. And as far as I can tell, the smoke, this is going to be the different shades of smoke color that you get from. As far as I can tell, there's only about 3 different shades. So clicking the set number, it should be besides the 10, which is default, change it to 3 materials instead of 10. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drag the smoke standard into the known. And before you press OK, change it to copy. Because at instance, it means it's going to do exactly what the other material does. But we want it to be separate. We just want it to keep the parameters of two-sided maps, so you don't have to keep pressing that. So just copy. And do the same again for the third one. And then you got 3 different shades. So go into each one, change the diffuse by clicking on it to a different tone of grey. You may want to have one that's really completely black. May want one that's only slightly. That's pretty much it for the material. So bring up your particle system. If you haven't closed it, it will be in the corner. Just unminimize it. And with your material editor open as well as your particle view, so don't have your particle view full screen. Drag your material. Make sure it's the circle version of it, you're not in a on one of the materials, free materials. Just drag it into the known, which is in the Matierial Dynamic, and what you're going to want to do is change the method to instance before you copy it. So don't press copy, we want instance. We want it to be exactly what is in the material. Just press OK. And now you're going to want to change show in viewport. Don't believe that changes anything, but yeah. And then you want to go down to Sub-Matierial Rotoscoping and change it to random. And then you want to change the rate per second to 0 and the sub-materials to 3, and that should do it for that. That's why we're not seeing anything in the viewport. Forgot we added the delete. So let's quickly go to the delete before we go to the rotation. The delete does is after a certain amount of particle age of the particle, it will delete it. Unfortunately, default, it's all particles straight away, so we're not seeing anything in the viewport. So let's change that from all particles to by particle age. And then you're going to want to change the lifespan to something different. So I changed mine to 9, and variation to 94 because smoke dissipates differently. And then so it's all very random. So if you go for it now, you should see something coming out of it. As you can see, it's not rotating in the right direction, but as you can see, you should be able to see it. They're spawning, which is good. So now you want to go to rotation, our final one, and change go to the drop down box, change the random 3D down to speed space follow, and now they should follow a certain direction. So there you go. So it now should be in one of the directions, which is probably what you wanted. So now you should get different tones. Now you're probably going to want to tweak a lot of this, so you might want to tweak the speed and how quick they're going. You might want to change how many particles there are. As this was 100 frames, I've gone with this. You may want to change the how far it's getting emitted, because it seems like it's clipping slightly. If you can actually select the particle flow, you may want to tweak that. You may want to change the scale variation, which you can do in the shape instance, so you can just change that. As you can see, it's in real time, luckily, so you can just tweak these things to your liking. You can change the shades of color. At the moment it's just random, so they'll spawn in a random material out of the 3 that we've chosen in the material editor. There's a lot of black ones. So yeah, just change the variation as well, so that they're more varied to how percentage it can be. And I believe that's pretty much it for this tutorial. So yep, you can change it if you want. I mean, 18 particles over 100 may sound not much, but you know, if I increase that to, let's say, 100, as you can see, it doesn't look right. But you know, you might want that for some reason. You know, increase it to 1000, but that doesn't work very well at all. So yeah, 18 works well. That's pretty much it. So in the next tutorial, we'll do the lighting. I'll go over a few other things with lighting as well, because if I just showed you how to animate dimming light, it would seem quite quick. So hopefully this tutorial helped you. Particle flow, very useful tool. It may take a while for you to get used to it, but when you realize it can be very fun to use, you could create Minecraft physics. Well, not Minecraft, you know, object following if you really wanted. If you didn't have physics installed, it wouldn't be as very accurate, but you could if you really wanted to. So that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. If you got a question, maybe I didn't explain it good enough, leave it in the comments and I'll try and help you. If I get a chance, I'll leave exactly what settings I put for all these for all the particle flows in the in the description, to just in case I rushed it slightly if I did. So yep, goodbye.